Good start, is it? Can drive a car, but can't fucking operate an umbrella. That's for sure. How's it going, everyone? It's GadgetsBoy. Welcome to another car tech video. Now behind me we have the new Honda E, and we get a chance to actually drive this. I saw this when they announced it and stuff, and I was looking forward to driving it. It's an exciting car, and there's one word that comes out straight away when I see it, and it's cute. Not the word that most people are looking forward to in terms of your car-focused people, your car enthusiasts, but trust me, it's a fun, lovely, cute car to drive, and it's a beautiful city car at that as well. And guess what? It's all electric, and it's very green for the environment. Let's take a look around the car. We'll talk about the exterior, and then we'll go inside and see what it's all about inside as well. And maybe talk you through some of the driving experience as well with my short time with it out here in Amber Lakes. Let's check it out. So starting from the front, the first thing that came to mind was a concept car, but no, actually this is a full production car ready to be purchased. And you notice the look as well, looks very futuristic, and it reminds us of some of those robot cartoon character that we won't be mentioning today, but you know who I'm talking about. So starting with the headlights, you got LED lights there, which looks really nice when on. It's very visible, it's good for nighttime as well when you're driving, which I really like, and I believe it's not an extra, it comes as standard. Moving over to the bonnet area, you notice you've got your charging port there, so you've got two charging connections there as well. So you got your AC and DC. With the DC, you can charge it very fast, so those side road charging ports where they have faster charging facilities, you'll be able to charge this in 30 minutes. You can go back to 80% ready to go, depending on your battery state, which is very important. It means you can get up and running very quickly, and that battery life anxiety is very much reduced in that sense. I like that it's centered as well. It means you don't have to worry about how you park your car. Even though the car is very small, it just means you don't have to worry whether the charging station's on the left or the right of the car. That's very smart thinking. Also, you notice the wipers are kind of hidden, so they're not very obvious. So especially if you back further away, you notice they're not very obvious as well. And up top is you notice the sensors are there. So there's a camera there and sensors to help with things like your speed. When you're using sat nav, you'll be able to check what the speed limits are on the road, and various other things like, we'll talk about that, the safety feature in the car. We'll talk about that more in a minute to tell you what that does. Before I touch on the side of the car, there are two different versions. So you got the advanced version and the standard as well. With the advanced, for example, you get 17-inch alloy, which is much better in a sense, debatable. But moving along to the side, there are some cool features here which I'm quite excited about. Being someone who loves is gadgets and technology, and one thing you notice straight away is the wing mirrors or the side mirrors, and this is a camera, not the standard version. One advantage that I really like about that though is the fact that when it's raining like a day like this in England, you don't have to worry about all the water that goes on the standard mirror. So with this, it's much better. It's not going to steam up, for example. I don't know if cars still steam up on mirrors these days, but if they do, you won't have to worry about that with this. And it's very clear. And you can also adjust it just like you do with a normal mirror. So you can go up and down, you can adjust your vision so you can see all around you comfortably well. Depending on how you're sitting and all that stuff, you can adjust it the way you like. Moving on down, you've got your pop-out door handle as well. So I got that right the first time. I was worried I'm not going to press the right the first time. But if you push it in on that side, you'll be able to pop the car door open. Or you can also use your key fob as well. So if you press it, that will just pop open when you open the car door, and you're good to go, which is pretty cool. So moving on to the back of the car, there's no pop-out door handle. What you have is this one that's embedded on the back here. So there's a little dip there that you push in, and once you push that, you can then open the back door and you're ready to go in. Before I finish off there as well, the door frame is actually frameless as well. So there's no door frame on this. So when you put the windows down, you see that this is it's just a door. I think it's just another way to save weight on the car so that it lasts longer. While I remember as well, one advantage of this is this reduces drag as well. Again, helping with that electric mileage that you get on the car engine as well, which is pretty cool. It's also good for aerodynamics. So maybe helps goes faster just a little bit, better than go fast stripes. Moving on to the back, again, you get that design from the front. It looks very similar again. In fact, it's like front to back, back to front. I'm not sure what's going on here. But again, you get LED lights, which is pretty cool. On the heat, it's very understated, but looks futuristic at the same time. I like the black bar that goes on here. And you've got all your sensors and camera there as well. So you got your back camera, which helps with the headlights, the digital headlights on the front, which again, we'll take a look at that a bit more in a second. Opening the boot, it's very small. Look at the size of that. It can just about fit a bag. So that's a backpack in there, John's camera bag's in there, and maybe DJI drone bags there. So there's not, I don't know, it's not a lot of space. Even with the seat folded down, I don't think you're still going to be able to get loads of space available there. And the bag, if you're interested in the actual size, this is 171 litre, and that's bearing in mind as well that your charging cables are also in bags. So you've got 2 bags of big charging cables, long enough, that are on there as well. So again, you're losing space in that sense. So bear that in mind. If you're someone who needs something with lots of space, if you want to go to IKEA, to buy stuff, you won't get that. It's quite funny with this car because some things are electronic, some things aren't. And you can get it, you get the idea why, because obviously electric car, you want to boost mileage and stuff like that. So that's probably why. You see what I mean in a minute when we get in. It's like a good mix of retro and modern at the same time. Also on the side of the car, you notice the NFC. That's because you can connect it to the on the Connect app. I think that's the actual name, I'm not sure, but I'll put it in the description area so you can check that out. But it means you can use it to tap your phone easily and connect and that kind of stuff. There's also one inside the car as well, which I'll show you guys. Let's get in the car and see what else we have inside the car. So this is the interior, and the first thing you notice is it looks and feels like a lounge. I think that's the look they're going for, because you have 5 display system here. I'm just gonna quickly power that on so all the screens are on. Just wait for a minute, put my foot on the brake. There we go. Gives you like that futuristic startup sound as well. It's very under, to be honest. Just put start on that. Brilliant. So this is touchscreen as well, so everything's touch control. There's no manual buttons here to control anything on there. So 5 displays. You got the 2 cameras, which are the displays on either side. You get used to it straight away. Again, the first time I got in, I thought I'd be distracted by all the displays, but actually, before you know it, you get used to the fact that it's just standard, really. The mirror here on the sides, they're very much the same as a standard mirror, like I was saying earlier. The controls here allow you to move it up and down like you would a normal mirror, and it's very responsive, which is very important if you need to quickly adjust. You get a mixture of plastic and this matte finish wood sort of finishing on here, which is pretty cool. It's a mixture of modern and retro feel, like I mentioned before. For example, the dials here reminds me of that retro feel, the way they rotate and that kind of stuff. And it also shows you what you're doing on that screen as well. So what you've got is 2 sides, and the reason why this is very cool is the fact that you can swap screens, for example. So if I'm driving and I can't control the map at the same time, and I've got a passenger, I can easily just press a button to swap what we're doing. So I can have music and they can take control of the satellite navigation to take control of where we're going. You know, that's pretty cool. I like that. And everything's doesn't require a lot of steps to get into one thing or the other. So for example, if I'm in music, I can just press sound to adjust all my sound settings, for example. Something that I hate in, say, an Audi, for example, when I get in, I have to dig in to find the sound settings to change things like bass and, you know, subwoofer volume. And the sound system in this sounds very good as well, which is quite surprised. I don't know why I'm surprised, but it sounds very good. I really like that. Sounds very important. Talking about the ports, actually, let me see if there's anything else I need to show you there. You've got EV menu, and with the EV menu, you can check things like charging, wait time schedule, preconditioning, climate schedule, and all that kind of stuff. This is where you can also open the charge lid on the front from the inside as well. Again, very cool. And at all times, it tells you what your range is and the option to search for station, which is 2 important things to know at all times when you're inside this car. Smart connectivity for your car, so it's got Wi-Fi hotspot. Via Bluetooth, you can connect with Android Auto and Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And Apple CarPlay works wirelessly as well via Bluetooth. Very good. It's got personal assistant. It wasn't my favorite though, because trying to tell it to change track while I was driving earlier was a pain in the ass. We couldn't get it to change track. It kept questioning whether we actually have any music playing in the first place. So that's something they need to update. The screen quality is not the best, but it's very good in terms of viewing angle. So whether it's bright light and situation or whatever, you can still see what you're doing. It's even got an aquarium. If you press that, it's got this nice funky aquarium thing going on. I wonder if you can change the fishes and whatnot. Something we're going to find out when we have the car for a bit longer. Other thing we have here is here where you get your speed, speedometer. It tells you your power and your charge, your consumption, all that kind of stuff. Again, vital information are there. There's no heads-up display here. You don't need it because that's got everything that you need and is very much in a viewing angle, your peripheral where you need to see it. One thing I'd love for them to have changed or done better though is this. I wish it moved. It was closer to me. It's too far in for my style of driving. That's just a matter of preference. But you can adjust the height with this up and down as you wish to do so. Over here, we've got all the ports available. So if I just talk through this first, you got buttons there for your park, your gear control basically, and drive. And then there's a foot pedal here for regenerative braking. So one pedal braking and moving off. So if you turn that on, it means you can just tap the accelerator to move off. And when you take your foot off, it will brake as well and also add to your battery charging there, which is pretty cool. You got drive mode, which is basic, it's just sports, and standard. When in sports mode, it's just more reactive. When you put your foot on the pedal, it just moves off. Better for leaving on roundabouts, but even in normal mode, it's still very good. I quite like it. And here you got your cup holder, so you can push that in. It's got this like leather strap here to do it, which is pretty retro again. Very cool. And you got a matching seatbelt color here. If I can just pull that out, it matches the wood finishing on there. In here you got more cup holder area which you can adjust, so you can pull that on, off, so you can adjust the space that you need. I just put my phone there. There's no wireless charging plate, which is understandable. Again, electric car, save energy where you can. One thing that's interesting though is if you come here, you got a pocket to put your leaflet or driver's license or insurance paper and stuff if you're driving abroad maybe. I don't know why you would. I don't even think you get that far. But you can put that kind of stuff there. What you got here is a USB port. There's two of them. You got one HDMI, which means you can plug in your media. So if you have a Super Nintendo like we have, you can plug it in and play Super Mario, which is pretty cool. Entertainment for the kids while you're parked up when you go shopping in Asda. And above that, very interesting, you got 1500 watt 3-pin charging area here. For an electric car, I don't know why you'd need that in this, but it's very handy. It's something I've had to buy a converter for my Mini to be able to do that. So it's good to have that. And you got standard power outlet, your cigarette stuff there, which is pretty cool. So that's about it for the ports there. And on the back here, in the back area, you got 2 USB ports as well. There aren't any USB-C ports in here, which would have been nice for a modern side of the car. Someone mentioned on Twitter, I'll credit them in the description, it would be nice to have a cassette player here, even if it doesn't do anything really, or no one's going to use it. It just adds to that retro feel of the car. Moving up here, this head mirror as well is very interesting. So this is digital and normal. So what you have is a camera that's on the back that I was showing you guys earlier. Allows you to be able to see the back just as you would. You can adjust the height and stuff like a normal mirror, like you would a normal mirror. The importance of this, which I struggled at first to understand, but now I've thought about it, it's great for when you've got tall people sitting at the back, or you've got stuff stuffed at the back seat and you can't see through the back window. This will be great for that because the camera would always be there at all times, no problems at all. Easy to switch, just literally pull this lever, goes to normal, pull it again, and you're good to go. And you got 4 buttons there, some for controlling the menu, and then the menu and options, that kind of stuff. So it's pretty cool, and that's it for that. And here as well, you got sunroof, panoramic thing here. It's not fully panoramic, but it's there. Again, it's manual, which is what I'm saying. You got a mix of digital stuff and then a mix of manual things that you get to operate. One cool thing about this car that I really liked is the parking pilot system, which means you can press that, you drive forward a little bit, it scans the space that's available, sees there's a space, and then parks the car itself. And it also can pull out as well when you're ready to leave the car parking spot. And it works really well. At first I was a bit like, oh, is it going to hit the car? But again, all the safety features all work hand in hand together in that area so that you don't hit anything, it stops. And you have to keep an eye on it as well, so it's not... Although it's fully automated, you still have to keep an eye on it so you're ready to press the brake if things go wrong. Also, one thing to mention is this is rear wheel drive, so the battery are flat mounted, so quite low down. Again, good for center of gravity and all that kind of stuff. You know what that is. But with the rear wheel drive, it means that the front wheels have a smaller turning radius. I think it's like 4 meters or something like that. So when you are in a small space, for a small car, you can easily turn in a small space without having to worry about going forward, backwards, doing 10-point turn before you can get out of a space or anything like that, which I really like as well. It just makes the car, again, very easy to drive in an urban city situation, which is what this car is actually aimed at. So the Honda E comes in 2 different versions as well. So you got advanced version and a standard version. The standard one will cost you £26,660, and that's after the £3,000 government grant for electric vehicles. And in there you've got 35.5 kilowatts hour battery, which will give you around 136 miles on a single charge. That's what Honda have quoted. And I think short drive that we've done today seems okay. We won't be able to tell until we actually have this in for longer and tell you what that actually gives you, but that's what they've quoted. You got heated seats, heated steering as well, which is pretty cool. And the advanced version is more around £29,000. Again, more expensive. I don't know if you need that or not, is up to you. And like I said earlier, you got that single motor, which is mounted over the rear wheel. In terms of torque, both the advanced and the standard version will give you 315 torque, Newton meters of torque, which is pretty cool. You feel it, not as much as you'd feel it in a faster version, but it's still there. The base one will give you 134 horsepower, and the advanced, this one is 152 horsepower, so slightly faster on the top end. For the driving experience, again, just to quickly touch again on the foot brake one pedal system, is once you activate it, you then get your paddle shift head. They're not for shifting gears, so don't get them confused, but they're there to adjust how intense the one brake system is, one foot brake pedal system is. So if you want it to be really, as soon as you take your foot off and you want to go forward like that, you can make it as intense as that. In terms of driving experience, I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's very good on corners, very fun to drive. It's very responsive as well, which is something I was worried about, especially at leaving, approaching roundabouts and leaving roundabouts as well. It's very responsive in that sense. Again, electric car, that's something that I'm used to. I'd expect that from an electric car. Handling corners, very good as well. No complaints at all, hands down. And road noise, it depends on what road surface you run and how good your tyres are. But I noticed driving on grass earlier, which we're not meant to. It's so quiet, you literally hear nothing. And when we drove it a bit on the motorway earlier, it wasn't too loud either. It just sounded normal. In fact, the car in general just feels normal driving in it. You forget that you're in an electric car, and that's something that I really like. I like that they've thought about that process, designing the car. I don't really have anything bad to say about the car. I think to come up with that, it would mean that I need to spend more time with it, drive it around for a bit longer, and own it for a bit longer, maybe a month, to give you things I didn't like about it in detail. Apart from that, steering wheel, that's a bit too far in, too flat. But yeah, that's it for the On The E electric vehicle. Guys, as always, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have any questions as well, let me know. In the meantime, make sure you hit that subscribe, hit the bell notification as well, so you'll be one of the first people to know every time we have a video on the channel. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.